You know when you're younger and everyone would always say to you, like, the boys are going to be banging down your door when you get older. They're going to be lined up around the block for you. You know, they look at your parents and they're like, you're going to have trouble with this one, right? You're going to have to sit at the front door with a shotgun, right? It's all this stuff. They think you're going to be like a supermodel and you're only like 8 years old, okay? And you're hearing it and you're just laughing it off and you're like, ha ha ha, grandma, thank you. You're crazy, but thank you, okay? Then you get older. And you get to the point where everyone thought that people would be literally banging down your front door to be with you. I don't know. And you get to that point and suddenly they flip the script. Those same adults that were saying, you're going to be so incredible when you're older, they won't be able to get enough of you, right? Those same people are now saying, well, what are you doing? He's not just going to show up at your front door. Oh, but when I was 8, you said he was, though. Now that I'm here, it's like, well, what are you doing? You have to put yourself out there. He's not just gonna show up at your front door. Okay. Well, I think I was a little misled. Not once has someone banged down the door or lined up around the block. So, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey everyone, my name is Lumi. Welcome if you're new here, or welcome back. I don't know, I feel like my generation has had a huge problem with believing what our parents told us at a young age and then getting hit with reality, and like, I don't know if it's like, is it better to like temper your child's expectations or, just tell them that they can basically have the world? Like, I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know what's better. Like, I feel like, you have to be like somewhat realistic. Like, yes, I think if you work at something hard enough and long enough, you will eventually achieve it. I do believe that still. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about like, I think it's like everyone gets a prize kind of mentality that isn't really healthy. I don't think it's a very healthy approach. I don't know, but I could be wrong.
One time on a first date, a guy told me that he was not attracted to me, but that he would be willing to have sex with me because he was really horny, as long as I came back to his place. Once on a first date, a guy told me that I was uneducated because I said that Christopher Nolan movie Tenet was difficult to watch. Once I was like 10 minutes late to a first date and I was really apologetic, but he forgave me really quickly because he said it was probably due to the fact that I'm a female driver. One time I was on a walk with a man and he pointed out some mulberries to me and started explaining to me how mulberries look like blackberries and that's how you know that they're not poisonous. And then I asked him how to distinguish poisonous berries that might look like blackberries and he got mad at me. This one time a guy asked me if I ever painted my nails and I said sometimes but not often, why? And he said, haven't you ever heard the expression men love their dick wrapped in purple? No dude, I haven't heard that because I'm fairly fucking sure that's not an expression. Once for a first date, I went for a walk with this guy in a nature reserve and it was a lot emptier than I expected. And at some point he said, wow, it's crazy. I could just kill you right here and no one would even know. On this one first date, a guy told me that he stopped drinking alcohol because there are too many fat people in the world. Once I was on a first date with a guy who told me that he was pretentious. And when I asked him what he meant by that to try to understand better, he said that he only liked high quality art and wasn't going to waste any of his time on things like trashy television and that kind of stuff. And, to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, I said, oh, it sounds like you just have very particular taste. And he got really mad at me and said, no, I am pretentious. Once on a first date, we went for a walk in the city after dinner and we conveniently ended up at his apartment, at which time I decided I'm going to call an Uber, but he insisted that I call it from his apartment since it was winter. And while we were in there, he gestured to the air mattress on the floor, which was the only thing in his entire apartment, and said, I wouldn't mind having first date sex. Once I was dating this guy, and the first time I went over to his place, he asked me if I wanted to see his gun. It was a handgun. I had said no, but he showed it to me anyways.
These are straight up unhinged, and yeah, it's just like another reminder how crazy dating is nowadays. There's a lot of crazy people out there. I think men are often just like, they don't know how they come off. Like, if you're like a 6'4" like burly dude who invited like this 5'6" woman up to his apartment and was like, you want to see my gun? Like, I don't think he realizes how that comes off. That's so crazy. And the one about the driving, that was just out of pocket. That was just uncalled for.
I'm 28 years old. I've only ever dated men. And now I'm in my first relationship with a woman, and there's some things that I wish I would have known before dating women. U-hauling is real. Jess and I are absolutely obsessed with each other. We want to live in each other's skins. And I always saw women post about that. Didn't really realize that it was a thing until I started dating Jess. Get ready for people to not respect your relationship. No matter how often Jess and I post together and make it obvious that we're together, men and women do not think that we're monogamous or that it's serious. And I don't know if it's because we're both femmes or what, but that's a thing. There's a lot of beauty benefits that come with dating a woman. Ran out of lip gloss? You're covered. Got your period? You're covered. Want someone to do your makeup or need clothes to borrow? Covered. Lastly, dating women is not easier than men. Despite what you've heard, it's not true.
I didn't know there was a term for that. U-hauling. My ex-girlfriend used to say that all the time. She was like, I want to live in your skin. And it always kind of like low-key creeped me out. But, you know, I was just like, okay. um, and I'm someone who I enjoy like my time alone. And I've said this before on other videos. That's kind of like the reason why we broke up is I feel like I was just isolating a lot myself, and we had like a few fights, or not a few, like many fights, and it sort of just like spiraled to the point where, you know, she just felt like I was, I don't know, just not giving her enough attention, so we broke up. But yeah, I didn't even know there was a term for that. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I respect her. She's the woman in the video here. She's like telling it like it is.
When a guy likes you, there's one speed he's going to take. Okay, welcome to the Daddy Academy. And it should look like this. Within 48 hours of meeting you on a dating app, okay, a few exchanges back and forth, he will get you off it, get your number, set a date for that weekend. Throughout the week, you will get consistent communication from him, not constant. You might skip a day or so, but you will know that for certain that date is happening that Saturday night. Go on this date. Have an amazing date. You have a great time. Coming out of that date, whether you text him first or he texts you, there'll be that communication on Sunday. He will say, obviously if the date went really well, I would love to see you again. What are you doing this weekend? So plan the date for the following weekend. You agree? You're going out that weekend. There will be consistent communication throughout the week, not constant. Okay, so he's not blowing up each other's phones, but you will hear from him maybe every day, every other day, but enough that you still feel confident about the way things are going. They'll go on that second date. Repeat. More or less, it's going to be that same cycle. Okay, he's not going to be love bombing you. You're not going to see him 4 times in 2 weeks. Like, it's this consistent 1 week date, a little chit chat, 1 week date, a little chit chat, and that will continue for at least the first month. After the first month, things can start to ramp up a little bit. But for those first 3 dates or so, that is the speed it should feel. And it's good for you too, because you don't know a guy until you've seen him over a period of time. If you love bomb each other and you see each other 4 times in the first week, it's like you're just building this connection based off of emotion, and you're not really seeing how he operates, right? So you want to see how he operates as well. But a healthy masculine man, this is how he's going to go about pursuing you, okay? That's not going slow. That's the proper speed. Going slow would be you see him once a month. That's slow, okay? That we don't like. Once a week for the first month, that's great, and they could always build from there. So there's no taking it slow. If a guy really likes you, this is the way he'll go about it, and it will only increase over time. More communication over time, more dates over time, and it will slowly build from there. But there's no such thing as going slow. This is the one speed.
Yeah, I pretty much have to agree with him. First of all, the Daddy Academy is kind of funny. I like that name. But yeah, no, I think he's pretty spot on here. Going slow. I mean, some people think what he said, which is technically I think also I agree. It's the right speed, right? A little bit of chat here and there, either calling on the phone maybe once a week and then a date, once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. I don't know. That's like a fine speed, I think. But some people think that's fast. But really, I think that's normal. And then he said at the end there, like going on a date once a month, that's like super slow. I agree with that. If you're going that slow, it's like, do you even really like want this? Sends mixed messages, I think.
Would you date someone that was overweight?
I don't think so, to be honest. I probably wouldn't, just because, I mean, like, I take care of myself, so I'd want the person that I'd be with to take care of themselves as well.
I would. I've thought about this too because I used to be a little overweight, and I wouldn't want somebody to judge me off of my body about who I am.
If they're trying to better themselves, I guess, get in shape. Everyone has, like, their own preference, so I guess to each their own.
As long as they can move. So, like, if you're overweight but, like, in, like, decent shape and you can hike and run and throw the ball, then yeah, I would.
First of all, I think overweight is relative. In looking for a girl, it's more about their willingness to better themselves. I'm willing to kind of better myself. I would hope that they would do the same. Maybe that's selfish, but I think it kind of just in a relationship, I think it's mutual, and both people need to be participating in bettering themselves.
That's kind of crazy. Going to a gym and asking that question is like kind of out of pocket. It's like, of course they're gonna give these kinds of answers. They're at a gym. Like, oh my god. I agree with the last guy. I think, like, I mean, like it or not, like being like super overweight isn't healthy. Like, but if you're like chubby, you've got like a little extra, love to give, right? Like that's fine. Like I don't have a problem with that. Like if you're like a little overweight, you got like a rounder face, you got a little little muffin top going on or something, I am totally fine with that. Like I think that's really no big deal. And I honestly don't care if you want to work on it or not. Like just be you. Just be yourself. If you're comfortable in your own skin, like all power to you. Like love that for you. But obviously, if we're talking like obesity, I do think that's not great. Like obesity could end in heart failure, heart disease, like a lot of medical problems. So that's definitely something that should be worked on with exercise. But yeah, no, I have no problem dating like heavier set people. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope you enjoyed. Leave me a like if you like this video. Dislike it if you dislike it. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if there's anything you want me to cover next. And consider subscribing if you want more. But anyway, hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you later.